What is up, guys? Welcome into the SEC rundown for week 4 in the SEC conference. Doing a degenerate pick on every game, plus best bets. Degenerate record so far, 10 wins, 11 losses, but best bets, 3-0 so far. So 1 week 1, 1 week 2, and 1 week 3. Hopefully win week 4. But if you're looking to bet a little bit more on any one of the picks I'm giving out right now, I would recommend the best bet over the degenerate spread just because it's done a lot better in the past, and I have a lot more confidence in it as well. So, guys, looking to run down the SEC slate in under 10 minutes with a pick on each game. So start off in order of kickoff on ESPN, 12 noon Eastern kick here. We got Auburn at South Carolina. Auburn laying 3.5 in Columbia, 51.5 being the total. Auburn's top tackler out at linebacker, plus the fact Bo Nix has not looked good this season. Really, in my opinion, hasn't looked good or that good his whole college career. Only 2 receivers caught a pass last week. That's not very promising. He only has a 57 completion percentage on the year. So for whatever reason, it's just not working so far in this offense this year. Plus the fact Auburn's defense giving up 420 yards per game. And that includes the Arkansas, Georgia, and Kentucky offenses. I would put South Carolina's offense up against any of those 3 offenses. I know it's kind of different than Georgia's, not as much, run downhill, but still. One reason I like South Carolina's offense is because Colin Hill, Mike Bobo came over from Colorado State, and quarterback didn't have to learn a new system, which is really a bet on opportunity for me this upcoming year. That's why I like South Carolina here, really. This South Carolina team, I think, has kind of underperformed so far out the gate. And Auburn, I know they're sitting at 2-1 straight up, but it has been a rough start here for Auburn. I mean, it's not out of the question that they could be 0-3 right now. That Kentucky game, a lot closer than the scoreboard put. And then also against Arkansas with that, mishap with Bo Nix trying to spike the ball. Could have went a lot different at the end. So they could be sitting at 0-3. And this line would be a lot different if so. Throw in the fact that the Gamecocks are 13-7 in the underdog role their last 20. I like South Carolina. The Gamecocks is the home underdog here, catching 3 in the hook. I think Muschamp actually wins outright. So I'd also sprinkle a little bit here on South Carolina plus 145 as the money line underdog, meaning if you're new to betting, risking $100. And if South Carolina wins outright, you win 145 on the kickback. So that's always nice. But for record-keeping purposes in the first game breakdown, I do like Auburn plus 3.5 and maybe sprinkle a little bit on the money line. We got another 12 noon kick here, Eastern time, by the way. SEC Network, Kentucky at Tennessee. We're seeing Tennessee minus 6-point favorites, 45.5 being the total. Kentucky's 1-2 straight up, but just like we were talking about Auburn, what could have been in close games, they could really be sitting at 3-0. 2 of their losses, that close one in Jordan-Hare in the opener, and also a 1 or a 2-point loss against Mississippi is all that's keeping them from being 3-0. This is the number 1 rush offense in the SEC. They've only beaten Tennessee twice in my lifetime, which is really surprising, that stat. I really didn't know that before I was kind of doing the research for this video. But I think I'm still going to go with Kentucky here, plus the 6. I mean, Tennessee, the 8-game win streak, which was the longest in the nation, just snapped this past week against Georgia. Defensive-minded Georgia. Kentucky's defense is also very good, underrated in my opinion. I think they stay within a touchdown here on the road against Tennessee. I like Kentucky plus 6 as well in the 12 noon slate. We got Ole Miss against Arkansas up next, 3:30 SEC Network. Ole Miss laying 1.5 in Fayetteville, 75 being the total. Yes, a 75 total in the SEC. We don't see that a lot, but a couple reasons why. Defense letting up 52 points a game for Ole Miss. Throw it on the other side, Arkansas, their quarterback offensive coordinator combination here, Kendall Briles and Felipe Franks, really starting to mesh here. Arkansas is looking okay offensively. Sam Pittman's got them playing pretty strong, 3-0 ATS. Ole Miss and Arkansas plays ran, meaning how fast their running plays is really starting to tick up here. Ole Miss, 88 plays ran against Alabama last week. And Arkansas, surprisingly, you wouldn't think they're going that fast tempo. 75 plays ran against Auburn last week. That's 160 plays ran combined. So when you're looking to get to a 75 number, you don't want each team kind of sitting on the ball and wasting clock. I don't think we're going to see a lot of that. So this total sitting at 75. Now, weather is a little bit of an issue, and we're talking at about 8:30 Pacific time on Thursday. So there's still some time here in seeing what can happen weather-wise, but I do like the over of 75 in the Ole Miss Arkansas game. So that's what we'll go on record with Hottie Toddy and Pig Suey. We got 4 p.m. on ESPN up next, guys. Texas A&M at Mississippi State. We got Texas A&M minus 4.5 road favorites, 54.5 being the total. And this is actually the best bet, so I'll hit this one last with one more game here. Vandy, Missouri, LSU, Florida, both postponed. So we got the game of the century, 8 p.m. Eastern kick on CBS. Game of the century is a little bit out of hand, especially because the loser of this game still probably controls their own destiny to win the national championship. But it is number 3 ranked Georgia versus number 2 ranked Alabama. Alabama minus 4.5 point favorites, 56.5 being the total. We got Kirby Smart, a former Nick Saban assistant, and Nick Saban's 21-0 against his former assistants, but Nick Saban's likely not going to be on the sideline as he's contracted COVID-19. Interesting to note, we saw this line at 6.5 move to 4.5. So him alone has a 2-point move on this, and obviously just standing on the sideline. And he's more of a commander head coach. He's not the one calling the plays offensively or defensively for that matter. So I don't know if it's actually going to matter on a per game basis. Throw in the fact that Mac Jones averaging over 13 yards per attempt. That's very strong here. I think Alabama, they do have the best offense in the SEC. Georgia does have the top defense, but overall, I do think Alabama's a little short here at minus 4.5. I'll go with the favorite, Alabama minus 4.5 in the late night game in the SEC. And for the best bet here, guys, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Texas A&M laying 4.5 on the road, 54.5 being the total in Starkville. I like the over here. A couple reasons why. Texas A&M off of a huge win against Florida. It's spot-wise. I don't usually love that. This is the biggest win, I think, in Jimbo Fisher's tenure here at Texas A&M. The weather, 69 degrees, low winds. So that's always promising for points to be scored. Texas A&M defense giving up 45 points per game against Florida in Alabama. Now they're having to face the Mike Leach passing attack, which for the first time ever, Mike Leach was shut out offensively in his coaching career just last week. I would actually look for that to be a real motivating factor this week in practice. So I think Mississippi State offense is going to do very well against that Texas A&M defense that has been really leaky. We only got a 54.5 as the total, mid-50s here. So I would look for points to come in bunches. And again, good weather in Starkville projected on Saturday. So I like the over 54.5 for the best bet, which has been 3-0 so far to date, guys. So that's it. 5-game rundown in the SEC. I'll recap it real quick here, guys. Auburn, South Carolina. I like the Gamecocks plus 3.5. Also, trickle a little bit on the money line. We got Kentucky plus 6 against Tennessee. Ole Miss, Arkansas. I like the over of 75 in that one. Texas A&M versus Mississippi State is the best bet. 54.5 to the over. And I like Alabama minus 4.5 degenerate special in that one. So degenerate style, guys, 10-11 on the year. Not that great, but best bets 3-0. Follow me on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets. If you're liking the content on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe at Drew Martin Bets as well on YouTube, and coming to you for the first time on Facebook as well. So let me know, guys, in the comments if you're liking that, looking to continue to do this each and every week. SEC rundown in under 10 minutes, a pick on every game. So I'm Drew Martin in Las Vegas at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter, guys. Best of luck with your bets out there, and be safe.